All right, now let's take a look at other markets. We're tracking here. We see the crypto market cap now stands at $1.82 trillion. Is up about 0.33% this morning. Volume traded in the total crypto market about $79.39 billion. That's down. We're seeing volume down there about 16.82%. And we see price of Bitcoin this morning, $40,772. It's still staying above that 40K level. It's had a minor pullback this morning, about 0.42%. Volume traded in Bitcoin, $26.91 billion. And we see Ethereum there, $2,799. That's up about 1.45%. We see Ethereum actually trying to get on that bullish trend there, with bulls pushing Ethereum right above, trying to push it back right above the $3,000 mark. Volume traded $12.82 billion, and we see the top alts by market cap there. We see BNB there, $387. Quite mixed on that counter, with a minor pullback from BNB as Binance token, and Cardano there, 83 cents, down about 1.24%. And we see Solana, $86.06, down about 0.61. XRP, 79 cents, up about 0.54%. All right, now let's bring in Michael Naji now, digital market analyst right there. Great to have you, Michael. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, buddy. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, so, yeah, this, we see Russia has been slammed with so many sanctions because of this war in Ukraine. And we see Putin there claiming that financial sovereign reserves can now be stolen. Is it time for the non-custodial money like Bitcoin to actually take center stage?
Yeah, it's looking quite like that. They're almost saying it without saying it, that they're looking at alternatives like Bitcoin. It's the only thing that makes sense at this point. Because at the end of the day, Russia has their reserves seized now, their U.S. Treasury reserves that are stored in foreign banks seized. And at the end of the day, they can't use those reserves. They tried to do a due diligence of having enough reserve to weather a sanction, but unfortunately, because of where it's stored, ultimately that's what they hit when they tried to get economic sanctions, and so that's effectively crippled the monetary capability of the Russian banks to actually do anything reasonable or try and help the local economy during these sanctions. And so it's unprecedented what's going on. Yes, you did have the Assad regime in Syria have some assets seized, and this is not the first time we're seeing, U.S. Federal Reserves, U.S. bonds for foreign countries being seized by the U.S. government. So this isn't unprecedented, but it is unprecedented in terms of the scope and the size of the nation that this is happening. This is the second largest military in the world, being economically wounded in a span of 3 weeks, borderline making them useless. And so it's the Bretton Woods agreement was signed under the assumption that if the U.S. was going to have global hegemony on the foreign reserves and be the foreign reserve currency of the world, anyone would be able to use that U.S. dollar anywhere in the world. And that would mean, the sovereignty that we grant nations like, the Russian embassy in New York is the Russian embassy. You can kick diplomats out, but at the end of the day, that soil is Russian soil, as long as it's, under the agreement of, what we've been agreeing on for these past couple of decades. So It's unprecedented to see the U.S., seize foreign reserves. And that gives a segue to things like Bitcoin, in the sense that as long as you have the keys, as long as you have the capability to move those reserves around, it's unseizable. Not your keys, not your coin. If you have the keys, it is your coin. Unlike gold, which is a bearer instrument, Bitcoin is you can send Bitcoin to anyone in the world. You can put $1 billion of Bitcoin on just a single ledger. It's one of the most liquid, most mobile, portable, bearer instruments, that's unsanctionable to a certain extent. Yes, you can whitelist wallets, but as long as you have peer-to-peer trade on a nation-state level, I find that these whitelisted wallets, the ability of sanctioning wallets when, you know, nation states start trading amongst themselves in Bitcoin becomes even more harder. Tinted coins now have more demand from these nation states because they're just looking at Bitcoin. They don't care if it's from a hacker or whoever or Putin.
All right, Michael. I guess the debates about between digital gold and real gold rages on at this point. Well, I see El Salvador is back in the news again. They're issuing their Bitcoin bond sometime between now and the 20th. Is this nation adoption of Bitcoin finally in the works?
Yeah. Like at the end of the day, El Salvador is at a between a rock and a hard place. Their options are basically soon to either restructure and have to do a IMF package. And we all know the IMF restructuring deals are never pleasant for the nation that undertakes them. Or they can have a second way out, which is Bitcoin. So powered by the Blockstream's liquidity program, people can log into Bitfinex, which is a popular crypto exchange, and they can actually buy this Bitcoin Bitcoin bond. And basically what it entails is there's about 500 million that's going to be allocated mostly through retail investors for now. Most institutional investors are sitting on the sidelines waiting to see how it plays out. And next time, maybe if it goes well, they probably will buy in. But they're looking at about $500 million worth of bonds. And so what's going to happen is out of the 500 million, 250 million will be used for development. And then the other 250 million will be used to purchase Bitcoin. And whatever the upside of that bond becomes, that will be shared with the people who purchased the bond. So people will have the ability to share in the upside of the Bitcoin they purchase with the bond also as well. It's called a Bitcoin dividend. And also they'll have the ability to use the 250 million to finance what kind of activities they want to finance. Namely, the main idea is they want to finance something called a Bitcoin city. But so this is a huge way for them to avoid having to make harsh measures like the IMF restructuring deal that's on the horizon. So hopefully this is a new way for them to source capital. It doesn't involve, the harsh IMF implications that they've had to face in the past. Like you see Argentina, their neighbor had to basically shun digital currencies in order to take a package from the IMF. And so at the end of the day, this is new world order of currencies emerging right in front of our very eyes.
Right, new world order. All right, Michael Naji, digital market analyst, thank you so much for coming on the program. Always great to talk to you. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you so much, Lady.